Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my account. Today we start the video indoors and there are two reasons for it. Number one is, you might see my back if I show you through the window, is pitch black dark outside, so definitely can't go outside with you. And number two is, it is cozy and nice and warm indoors while it is minus 10 degrees Celsius outdoors. So it is really winter, frosty, but it is beautiful outside. And it actually is really to my advantage because today I want to do a little bit of a crafting video. One of those things that I don't do too often, but the other day I just went through some old garden magazines that I still had somewhere flying around, and I thought, you know what, let's just have a closer look at that. It's really worth keeping them, or maybe just like throw them away. And then I found one article where I thought, oh, actually this is a really cute idea. It is making ice lanterns, or like candle holders made out of ice. And the lovely thing about it is, you don't need a lot and it doesn't cost you a thing because you have everything that you need. You can just go to your garden or even onto your balcony and just collect a few really nice things and then off you go. So what I want to do first is I want to show you all the materials that I'm going to use in today's video because I have prepared everything. Things are lying on my dinner table already, and then I'm going to guide you through step by step on how to do it. I'm going to put it outside then overnight to let it freeze really well. Well, with minus 10 degrees, I think it's going to take probably just 3 hours and it will be frozen completely, but better be safe. So really it goes out throughout the entire night. And then tomorrow I'm going to continue, and fingers crossed it's going to work. But before I'm going to see that, I just want to show you what I have prepared. So I hope that you are excited to join me on my little crafting video today. So here are the materials that I'm going to work with today. So first of all, to make some kind of lantern or holder for a candle, you need to have two vessels. So I just have like this one from the kitchen. So this is made of plastic. This is what I use to make a dough for cake or cookies. And then I've got another one from the blender. And I need to have different sizes, obviously. So in the bigger vessel, you put some water and obviously cold water. You don't want to like boil whatever you put inside there. And then the second one I filled with some stones, and I'm going to tell you in a second why I did that. Then I just have a pair of secateurs if I need to cut something, and then really just things that I collected mainly from the garden, plus some evergreens. These are leaves from tangerines, because as I was preparing and walking through the kitchen, I bought really yummy tangerines today, and then I thought, oh, the leaves are really pretty, so maybe I'm going to use them. So clearly they do not grow in my garden here. I wish they would, but no. So I've got really on season, I've got some cuttings from pine, I've got some walnuts here. Obviously walnuts, we have these two big walnut trees in the garden, so this is something that I really want to utilize. Then I've got some walnut branches. Those are like the old ones that just come down the tree, so they're really pretty because they have lichen all over them, so obviously it's not good for the tree, but to work with something like this is always really pretty and whimsical. Then I've got some asters, so they spent the flowers, but really wonderful, tiny, delicate texture. And then I have some miscanthus grass flower heads as well. They also, whoop, everything is now hanging in another. Really pretty, I think. So it's really about using different kind of textures, and then some miscanthus grass. So those are the things that I'm going to work with. You see, there is not too much color going on, but I think it just works really nice with the decoration that I already did at the main entrance of the house. Because normally when it comes to winter decoration, I really focus on like evergreens, natural tones, maybe white, but definitely no bold colors. So I'm really excited. What I'm going to do next is show you how I'm going to make this into a lantern. This is actually take two, because what happened in take one is I didn't have enough stones in here, because you need to make sure that this is heavy enough, because this goes into the vessel with water. And now it works. You really want to make sure that it doesn't kind of just like starts floating in here. So it should be really safe and sound. And I want to have it in the center, which I think it is. The beauty is you can just put it wherever you want. You can just put it more to the side. You can kind of just like create whatever shape you want. You can also just put a different kind of shape in here, like your breakfast cereal bowl, for example, if you just want to have a different shape. But I kind of want to have it quite symmetrical and then really have these whimsical textures in here. Number two is what I already figured. So this is why this miscanthus is already wet. It might be a good idea to make sure that some of these things are wet before you put them in there. And this is also what the magazine said. A lot of the things, obviously it's water, so they just want to float on the top. So this is why you want to use, for example, things that will just push it down a little bit. What I do is I'm just really going to use more of the miscanthus now and try to, well, soak it in first and then try to push it down. Let's see. I really haven't tested this. I've never did this before, so who knows how this is going to look tomorrow. I hope it's going to look nice. I mean, if it's going to look super terrible, I'm not going to post it, obviously. But I'm quite optimistic that this is going to work out. The thing is, you can use whatever you want, really. And also, like, in the magazine, they did it with some really beautiful, like, flowers from the flower shop. So kind of like bold colors and really just zingy, which was also beautiful. But this is just not how I decorate for Christmas. I just like... or winter in general. Winter for me is like really making sure that when I decorate something or when I use pots, for example, that it just makes sense with the entire surrounding, because winter is a time when all the color just fades away. And I said it last year, but I think this is how it describes best. Winter here is kind of just like 50 shades of beige in the garden with a little light frosting of snow or just like frost on top of it. So this is what I just like to use, these kind of materials, and then some evergreens in there, because this is just exactly what you also find in the garden. And I think that this might look really cute and cohesive. Am I going to use some of these? Yes or no? No, I think this is going to be too wild now. So let me just like try to pop some of the walnuts in. Well, they float, obviously. So they said in the magazine, it's always good to work with branches and also like with evergreens like pine, because you can stick it in and then they're supposed to weigh everything down. In theory. Let's see if that advice is going to work, because one thing that they said in the magazine, and I'm not going to follow it, is that the vessel, oh yeah, it works, by the way. So that the vessel that goes in the center, they said you should put water in it. And then tomorrow morning, when I get it back inside, you should pour hot water in the inner vessel to get it out of the outer one. But if this is filled with water, then this is going to freeze as well, obviously. And when I pour hot water in it, then it just takes forever to melt down, basically. So I thought, no, this is not how I'm going to do it. I thought this is not a good idea. But what I'm thinking now is like, this is probably, am I going to flip it upside down? Yeah, I think I'm going to flip it upside down. So this makes sense right now. This all makes sense. Maybe just like a leaf here. Let me just see, like the branches are so pretty. I kind of want to put one of these like really in here. Maybe what I'm going to do, well, no, I can't put stones on top of it, because if I put a stone on top of it, this is also not going to work out well. Okay, you know what? The branches, everything is floating, obviously, now. So what I will do is, I think, yeah, this is going to look better, I feel. So this will be the top in the end, because if anything looks weird here, I can just snip it off. I'm really, really not sure how this is going to turn out to be honest with you. Let's see. Let's just push a lot of things in here now and hope for the best. This is all I can do now. And let's see. In theory, this is going to be really nice, I think. And especially like when you put a candle in here, it's nice to use textures that allow the light to shine through. So obviously the branches don't do it, but the pine cuttings do, the grasses do. So I think those things will definitely allow it. I still want to put some more walnuts in there. Because kind of just like, I'm not sure if you have this tradition, but when I grew up as a child, Christmas time, you always had like this like plate of different kind of candy at your couch table. And my parents tried to make it a little more healthy. Obviously, as a kid, you're not so interested in that, but they would put some mandarins, tangerines, or walnuts, or yeah, walnuts mainly on there. But did I ever eat one of these walnuts? I kind of don't think I ever did. I'm still not so much into walnuts, which is the irony of it all, because we have so many. But yeah, I think maybe one more nut here. Walnuts are pretty though. I love to work with them. The only thing that turns me off is just like when they come off the tree and I need to collect all of them because we have so many. That's it. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it like this. I think some of those things that I'm not going to like, for example, like the miscanthus grasses, now the branches are sticking up upside down and that is not very pretty. So I kind of think that I'm going to snip those off, but for the rest of it, I'm going to show you now how it looks before I'm going to put it outside. I'm quite happy with it. I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued on where it goes. And then tomorrow, what's gonna follow. For you, it's going to be one video, but for me, it's going to be like, okay, let's see what happens. So this is how it looks up close for now. A lot of the stuff is really floating on the surface, but I think it's gonna be quite nice actually, because half of it will be frozen in. And then when there is a little bit of frost, you're gonna have like some really lovely frost sugar coating on these pine needles, on the walnuts, maybe on some of the branches that have the lichen there. So I think it might be really wonderful. So what I'm going to do now is take this entire thing, put it on the terrace, and then I'm going to see you tomorrow. Good morning, guys. I already took the ice lantern back inside and it is definitely frozen solid. It was really cold tonight. I think it was minus 12 degrees Celsius. So just perfect. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to boil some water and fine tune it, and fingers crossed that it will be easy to get the lantern out of its vessel. And then I'm going to take you with me outdoors because I want to do a tiny little bit of winter staging on the outdoor dinner table and just really use the lantern there, maybe like the icy lantern, maybe like another lantern that I have in my garden shed, maybe some branches. I need to see, I haven't really come up with a plan, but I just want to make sure that the outdoor dinner table looks nice and wintry because it really is in the center of the garden. But before that happens, I'm going to show you how the lantern looks at the moment. All right, I was just checking and I thought it was completely frozen solid, but I think I put it too close to the house. But what I can see is that if I take it out like this, it is pretty much frozen and it looks really good. So what I'm going to do now is very quickly snip off these weird branches from the miscanthus here, because besides, I think it looks nice. It's just not completely frozen in the center. And really, I think it is because I put it so close to the house that the heat from the house was radiating, and then it just couldn't freeze totally, but this is how it's looking. Okay, there's one more funny branch here. This needs to go, but for the rest, I think it looks nice. And now I'm very quickly going to carry it outside to make sure that it's gonna stay nice and icy. This is the outdoor dinner table just underneath one of our big walnut trees in the center of the garden. And hint of advice, if you have a table under a tree, and there's also like a rambling rose in here, which is really wonderful, by the way. And the rose lost its leaves really late in the year, and I was too lazy to clean it. Now with the frost, I was like quickly, oh, I'm just gonna clean the table before I do a little staging video here. But, well, it's frozen. The leaves are frozen onto the table now, so I need to wait for warmer temperatures before I can really clean it. But most important thing is the lantern. Even though there isn't completely frozen solid, the outer walls are, and this is important. And I think it looks fairly nice. It definitely works. I'm really happy with that result. What I want to do is just stage around it a little bit. I don't really want that it is so much a centerpiece. I think it's just nicer if it is part of a little ensemble that I plan here. So I do have some pine branches. I've got some pine cones, and I just want to work with that. And I got actually another lantern here, which I'm going to use as well. And since this is so much in the center of the garden, I always like to have something here, and especially during winter time. At one point when I cut everything back beginning mid of March, it is quite essential to have something going on here, because in my back I do have a lot of perennials, I do have a lot of ornamental grasses, and when everything is stripped back to the bare bones, there isn't too much to look at, unfortunately. I'm still working a winter structure, I always keep on saying it, but that is why I think it is just nice to do a little arrangement here. Here in the container, there are still some mums completely frozen over by now, but the lovely thing is that they are just the perfect framework now to put some of my evergreens in here, because everything is frozen, so I can't really put anything in a container. But when I have a structure in here already, and they are still green though, this is actually a really nice base. So all that I'm going to do is just use the last of the pine that I didn't use in my previous video, where I was arranging some of the containers at the main entrance of the house. So I think this is going to look really cute. Try to hurry it up a little bit so that this is not going to take forever. And I can put it in there all the way around. This is going to look really cute, I think. Do I have a nice one left? I need to have some nice ones still. I mean, these are like the last bits that I still have, so obviously I already used the best for the main entrance. But I'm not going to sit here now. I mean, this is really just like to have something nice to look at, and especially if you do a little tour through the garden. So this is cute. Then I do still have some of my pine cones that I had on my Christmas tree last year. And I thought maybe I can just like put some of them in here. They have some metal wire at the back because I attached them to the Christmas tree. So let me quickly see if this is a good idea or not. I think it might make up for a cute idea. Yes, yeah, that looks really wonderful. So I'm just going to put a couple of the pine cones in here. And the nice thing with these is they are like completely dried off, so they're really open and nice, and they are quite light, which I think sometimes helps if you have evergreens and you're working with pine, to try and find or use those cones that are really lovely and light in color, because then they're kind of just like popping out of the entire arrangement. That is very cute. There's a dried needle in here that needs to go. And for the lantern, I thought it might be just really nice. I already put a white candle in here. Well, how do I open it? Like this from the top. If all the way around, I will just like put some pine cones. I'm not even sure if I'm going to put pine branches in there. I thought I really want to keep this really simple. Yeah, I think this is actually, yeah, I like that. Very nice, very simple. Exactly how I want that. Great. I need to tidy the mess a little bit before I'm going to show you the end result. So what I'm going to do now is put some fire in here and see how it looks. Obviously, it's going to look nicest when it is dark outside. So by the end of the video, I want to give you a little tour of the entire arrangement here and show you how it looks when it is dark and how it looks when it is going to shine. But I can already put the light on here. And the lovely thing about the ice lantern is that it is a lantern, so it protects the candle from getting blown out by the wind. So this is really nice, really important. I need to have a look from your side actually, because I'm always doing it from the back when I do videos. And sometimes when I step around and look at it from the front, I'm like, oh, that's not quite looking how I imagined it. So every now and then I tweak it a little bit, but I think this is a really nice, cute, very simple winter arrangement. If you have, again, I'm not really using red berries this year. Obviously, it would be nice if you have some red berries and poke them in here. If I had snowberries, that would be perfect, because then I would put some snowberry branches in there. Definitely something for next year. So I'm going to tidy up now, and then I give you a closer look at everything. This is the final result, and I'm really happy with it. Honestly, even though the entire thing is not frozen solid, which still kind of surprises me. So our house really doesn't keep the heat very well, apparently, but it is working. This is the most important, and I think what works wonderful are the pine branches, because you have a lot of areas where the light comes through and then it doesn't come through. I think it's got to be very interesting when it's dark outside to really see how it is going to look. I love that I was just using a lot of the materials from the garden, like the walnuts, walnut branches, the grasses, the miscanthus grass, which you can't really see, to be honest with you. Here there is a little bit, but I think the entire ensemble is just nice. It's really how I like winter to be in the garden. It's like focusing on evergreens and natural materials, playing with white. So a lantern obviously always works, like a nice plain coastal, like seaside lantern with a white candle and some really nice pine cones inside. And then the arrangement here, I mean, it really took like 2-3 minutes out of me, but this is going to be nice throughout the entire winter season, because the pine is going to be a nice evergreen even when the mums are going to go brown, and I think it's still going to look nice because there are the pine cones inside. So I'm really happy with that, and also I'm happy it was a really quick project, to be honest. It didn't take a lot of time out of me, but now there is something here, and I think it is really important to have something nice to look at, because it is just a centerpiece and a focal point in the garden. Guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was interesting or maybe even inspirational for you and something that you might want to try out on your own. The lovely thing about this project is I think it was fairly fast and it was really cost efficient, because I didn't spend any money on it. I had a candle, and for the rest I was just like gathering things here in the garden. And the lovely thing is, like, it is like a decoration piece. Like, once the temperatures are warmer again and everything melts, I haven't produced any trash, you know. It's kind of like whatever is used in there can go straight onto the compost heap, and then it's going to do goodness there. So I think this is like really a lovely thing on how you can decorate your garden throughout the really frosty winter days. So all I can say now is thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you so much if you decide to subscribe to my channel, or if you give me a thumbs up for my videos. This is really nice and generous to you. If you want to see more of me, you can also visit me on my Instagram account or on my TikTok account. I'm not posting too much on TikTok, but every now and then you will find some videos there, just like motion videos, really reflecting the seasons here of the year. Once you see this video, I think that I will be probably in Germany spending Christmas time or the holidays there with my family. So I'm not quite sure how soon I will upload the next video. So there might be a little bit of a gap, also due to the weather, because you can tell in my bag everything is frozen over, which is wonderful. I really enjoy it when it is like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'll grab Alfie and then we go to the beach, because also the beach is frozen over, and it is sometimes really beautiful to see it when ice is forming at the shoreline. So once again, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I would love to welcome you in one of my future videos very soon again. Take care, guys. Bye.